I'm Elise.
There are only a handful of movies in the horror genre that succeed in scaring us to the core. One of such terrifying movies is Insidious. Even if you haven't watched the movie, it is likely that you are already acquainted with its existence in the world of supernatural films. The perfect storyline, powerful characters, and severely horrifying scenes have made its mark in the hearts of the viewers worldwide. The spine-chilling story of Insidious was written by Leigh Whannell, and the movie itself was directed by James Wan. Powered by loud and scratchy violin scores, the film has left no stone unturned to make the viewers get goosebumps. The first part of the Insidious franchise was released on the 1st of April 2011. Later, its two sequels, titled Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, were released in 2013 and 2015 respectively. The last part of the franchise is titled The Last Key and was released in 2018. In this video, we will give you a detailed synopsis of the entire Insidious franchise. The film Insidious is based on the Lambert family, who has just entered a new residential property to settle down. There are 5 members in the family: Josh and Renai Lambert, their 2 sons named Dalton and Foster, along with a little girl, Callie, who is just an infant. The opening scene of the story showed the Lamberts shifting to a big old house that's going to be their new residence from then on. They have found this archaic property via the Amityville multiple listing service. The house is just the perfect epitome of a building that is usually featured in a supernatural film. Yes, you've thought it correct. The house has all sorts of cobwebs in its walls, long and dark corridors, winding staircases, mysterious closets, several rooms, and scary shadows looming large over the house. The Lamberts were truly happy before they signed this real estate transaction and entered this new haunted home. By profession, Josh is a teacher and Renai is a songwriter. Among the 3 kids, Dalton is the most curious lad. As his nature is, he keeps on sneaking into several corners of the house, going to the attic and explores the inner quarters of the scary house. One day, when Dalton heard some creepy, eerie sounds coming from the attic, he went there to find out the source of it. That's when the tragic incident occurred. The ladder going up to the attic suddenly broke and he fell to the floor. He immediately goes into a coma. Imagine what a frightening situation that is. The mysterious thing is that the brain scan test reports are perfectly all right and don't show any kind of head injuries. Then, what could be behind Dalton's comatose state? The movie then takes a leap of 3 months into the future where it is shown that the Lamberts have allotted a separate medical room to have a proper check on Dalton's health. Gradually, Renai starts experiencing the presence of a spirit among them. She witnesses a series of heart-wrenching events, such as being screamed at via a baby monitor, getting stalked by a horrid black-haired spirit, and the appearance of a blood print of hand on Dalton's sheet turn into nerves. All these nerve-wracking incidents make her proclaim that the family needs to shift to some other house. The Lamberts don't get respite from the hauntings even after shifting to a new home. Josh's mother, Lorraine, comes to help them settle down in the new house. A paranormal expert, Elise Renai, is called by Lorraine to help them get rid of these supernatural occurrences in the house. After conducting several practices, Elise found out that Josh had made Dalton go into a coma by making him undergo astral travel. Moreover, it was actually Josh who was possessed by a wicked spirit having the form of an old woman dressed in a black bridal gown. Elise, through her nerves, somehow manages to take Josh and Dalton out of the charm of the bridal woman and the red-faced demon. But the first part ended with a major shock as Josh chokes and then kills Elise secretly. Later, Renai discovers a body as well as the photo at the place where Josh was standing. The movie frighteningly ends with the possessed Josh standing behind Renai and gasping horribly. The Chapter 2 of Insidious is set in the year 1986, and we see a young Elsie coming to help a young Josh come out of the possessed state of that old bridal woman. Later, as the time takes a leap, we see Renai explaining to the police the way of Elsie's death. Since there's no evidence that Josh is the perpetrator of the act, the police leave the case open for further investigation. Later, with the help of another paranormal expert, Carl, along with Lorraine and Renai, discovered that the spirit that has possessed Josh is that of a mentally sick man called Parker Crane. When he was alive, he had dressed himself in the attire of a bride and killed 15 people. After some complicated turn of events, we see Josh getting into a fight with the spirit from the first part of Insidious, but he's saved by John Elise. On the other side, young Josh helped the experts discover the residence of Parker Crane, Crane. It was then revealed that Crane's mother abused his own son and forced Crane to dress and behave like a girl. In the alternate dimension, we see Josh fighting with Crane's mother, who gets killed by Elise. Now that Crane leaves Josh's body and Dalton wakes up, we see the family successfully reuniting with Josh and Dalton. A little later, it is shown that Elise is talking to a young girl, but stops when a creaking noise comes from the background. When checking on the darkness, Elise's pupils dilate and she says, "Oh my God." What was there in the darkness that Elise screamed? No one knows, because just when the movie credits started to roll in, quite a shocking end to an already shocker-saturated film. The Chapter 3 of Insidious starts with a teenage girl named Quinn Brenner visiting Elise, who is now retired. The movie revolves around Elise before the events in the Lambert family had started. The teen girl had come to Elise so that she could contact her dead mother, Lilith. On finding the presence of a malicious spirit, Elise warns Quinn of never attempting to contact her mother again. As Quinn returns home, she gets hit by a car and is discharged from the hospital in a wheelchair. But Quinn gets haunted by a demon and tries to kill her as violent actions are taken against the poor girl by the evil spirit. In fact, the demon has taken the form of Lilith and attempts to kill Quinn. Witnessing this event, Quinn's father requests Elise to help them. Elise was reluctant at first because she was being chased by some other demon, and if she starts helping Quinn, the other demon will surely kill her. However, she gives in to Mr. Brenner's request and decides to help them. After a seance is conducted, Elise moves ahead into the further so that she can encounter the demon, but she was attacked by the bride dressed in black, that is, the spirit of Parker Crane. Elise goes to Carl to seek help and talks about her impending doom, that Crane's spirit will kill her after she stops the possession of young Josh, back in 1986. On the other hand, Quinn is completely possessed by the demon and is just on the verge of getting killed. This is when Elise arrives and, along with Specs and Tucker, conducts another seance to save the life of Quinn. Elise now travels into the further and suffers the attack by Crane's spirit, but this time she defeats Crane. Now, with the help of Lilith's spirit, Elise succeeded in defeating the other demon that had taken over the body of Quinn. Ultimately, the girl is saved and Elise decides to come out of retirement and work again as a paranormal expert. We all have waited for a happy ending, but wait, the ending is way more mysterious and scarier than one can ever think. Elsie was again visited by the red-faced demon. Yes, it is the very demon that had made its appearance in the first part of Insidious. In the last part of the franchise, The Last Key, we see Elise going to help a man called Ted Garza, who has been experiencing supernatural incidents in his home. After a series of horrifying events, we see Elise and the other paranormal experts trying to save Melissa, the daughter of Christian, who in turn was brother of Elise. Melissa has been attacked by a ferocious demon called Keyface. Ultimately, Melissa is saved after Audrey's spirit kills Keyface. Then, Elise made amends with her mother's spirit and reunited with Christian. At the end, it is shown that Elise receives a call from Lorraine, who pleads with her to help her grandson Dalton from a red-faced demon. Remember, this is what we had seen previously. So, that was all about the horrifying story of Insidious. The only problem with the film is that its complicated timelines, which might be a little difficult for some viewers to understand. Anyway, how did you like the storyline? How fearful did you find the film to be? Let us know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep getting more of these awesome and interesting content in various areas.